Hey guys, what's up? Excoundrel here. I have not been this excited to play Vainglory since the 5v5 release. There has been so many good changes on 3.10 to 5v5 specifically. I know people have questioned the changes to 3v3, but I don't play enough 3v3 to really have a super strong opinion on it. But the 5v5 changes have finally given junglers a role in the game, though they can actually go off and clear the jungle by themselves. They shouldn't have the jungle stolen from them, from their laners. If their laners are stealing your jungle, then they're just doing the entire team a disservice. And it just in general feels a lot nicer to have actual 1v1 matchups where you have to think about the jungler ganking. There's a lot of top lane versus top lane and bot lane versus bot lane matchups that are really cool. And honestly, in general, it's kind of changed the meta up pretty significantly. I just wanted to talk about some of my initial thoughts about some kind of good or overpowered heroes on 3.10. I haven't got a full list yet because I haven't played enough to get my best heroes and the tier list out, which will be coming. I'll be doing a best heroes and a full tier list for 3.10 across this update, probably in the course of the next week. And they'll be out by next week. But I just want to talk about some of the heroes that I feel are really strong. So a couple of days after the update, you guys can go and use them in your ranked games and see how you feel. The first of which is the one that which you see on screen, which I am playing in this game. Now, what this video is going to be is me going through a couple of the heroes, and afterwards, I'm just going to let the rest of this ranked game play out, and you can watch it if you want. A little bit of music in the background. I'm not really going to talk about too much. So the first hero that I want to talk about is Maligne. Maligne got a huge set of buffs on update 3.10. And it led her to have a really strong early, mid, and late game, just in terms of what she can do. So the build path that I would recommend is Shatterglass into Halcyon Charges, into Spellfire, Clockwork to maximize that cooldown reduction, and then you go for some defense, or if you're doing really well, you can go for the Broken Myth first. Now, you see the reflex block there? That doesn't mean go reflex block. That just means pick the right defense for you. So I'm using reflex block in this video to simulate any defensive item that warrants the situation. In this game that you're going to watch here, I actually went Celestial Shroud. And also it means that you don't have to follow this build path to the strict to the T. This is just what my full completed build would look like on Maligne. You can build most of it in whatever order you like. I like Shatterglass first for the burst. I like Spellfire second. But I do also like having Halcyon Charges in there early for energy regeneration and also cooldown reduction. And also just having tier 3 boots on 5v5 right now is really good. Next hero that is just strictly broken in some way, shape or form is Jewel. She had a massive change to the CP ratio on her B, and her ultimate got her CP ratio scaling back. Most people I've seen have been playing Jewel as a jungler, but I know you can also play Jewel in lane. The reason I've put Journey Boots down second is that it seems pretty important to have tier 3 boots as a jungler pretty quickly. So I've seen a lot of people go tier 3 boots second, just because getting across the map to gank lanes is really, really important. The full build that I've been seeing is the Shatterglass into Spellfire, into Clockwork, into Broken Myth, and then some people go whatever they want last. I've seen people go Eve of Harvest for sustaining team fights. I've seen people go defensive items, but this is kind of like the 4 core items that I've seen a lot of Jewel players go. I've also seen Frostburn. Now, do be aware Frostburn is a really good item on Jewel simply because it makes your big red button hit harder and longer because it stops the enemy from escaping it as easily. So consider a Frostburn in that build if you want to go it. I think I've seen people go it instead of the Shatterglass, for instance. Alright, next is, can you believe it, Rhyme. Rhyme had a pretty big change that I forgot to mention in the update notes, is the fact that his B no longer needs chill to root. You can actually just walk into lane and root anybody that you want, which is great in teamfights because Rhyme can walk up, he can just root them, and can actually get a significant amount of damage down. So the build that I've seen people go, and he's a jungler for the most part. I have seen some people play him top lane, but realistically I think Rhyme's just better in the jungle. It's Eve of Harvest into Journey Boots again to have that ability to get across the map quickly, into Spellfire, into Broken Myth. And then that is the 3 core items that I've seen from Rhyme. And then people often either go 2 defensive items or a defensive item and then build another CP item. That CP item can be whatever you want. Shatterglass, Dragon's Eye. Dragon's Eye is probably a pretty good shout because he is a sustain mage. So Rhyme's really, really solid. You don't even need Stormguard Banner to clear the jungle on Rhyme, from what I've seen. So you can actually clear the jungle without Stormguard Banner because of the fortified health, and it's not even that slow. So Rhyme doesn't actually need for Stormguard Banner to sort of clear the jungle out. So Ilva, I've been seeing a lot of Ilva builds, and I don't think anyone's really got the absolute correct Ilva build, so don't take mine as the sort of the one that you should go all the time. The reason I've been going Breaking Point is because Ilva has been incorrectly listed as a melee hero, which means you get the melee bonuses from Book of Eulogies and also from Breaking Point. So I've been going Breaking Point because it's really easy to stack on Ilva. And the rest of my build, I generally tend to go for Journey Boots into defense, and then I pick up a Tornado Trigger as a last item if I can. If you don't go Breaking Point, if that ever gets fixed, which I'm assuming it will be, or if it's not already, I would go something like Bonesaw. Bonesaw is the standard sort of weapon power carry build right now, is the Sorrow Blade into Poison Shiv into Bonesaw. Just generally works on almost every weapon power carry out there at this point in time. So I'm not going to cover too many heroes. I've got 2 more for you, and you might notice there's a lot of CP heroes on this update. CP seems pretty strong in general. And Celeste is one of those heroes in the mid lane that is, again, in a really good position. I like to start my build off with Spellfire, and again, very early Halcyon charges to get that cooldown reduction, that movement speed. Really, really important on 5v5 especially. I then go into Eve of Harvest for extra energy regeneration and also sustainability, because that's really important. And then go into Dragon's Eye to give me some scaling in teamfights, and as you guessed, go for the Broken Myth as a 4th item. That 5th item can be anything that you want. It can be defense. It can be a... for instance, Shatterglass. It could be a Frostburn. Anything that you feel like you want to go as that 5th item is something that you know, you can just consider. So yeah, Celeste is in a really, really good position in the mid lane right now, and I think a lot of people have been playing her quite religiously, as well as the changes to Broken Myth too. You can just see that Celeste just in a great position. And finally, in the mid lane, another chap that has been very, very obnoxious since he kind of got some indirect buffs / changes in 3.10, and that's Magnus. Magnus is actually super strong on this current update, from what I've been seeing over the last few days. The build paths I've seen have varied quite significantly. I've seen a lot of people start off with Spellfire. They then go for, doesn't have to be Halcyon Charges second, they go for something like a Dragon's Eye after some boots. So Spellfire into Dragon's Eye, and then I've seen them go Clockwork into Broken Myth, and then that 5th item again, defense or another CP item, so ever what you choose. But yeah, I've seen Magnus has just been wrecking people from what I've seen on this current update, and that's been quite hard for people to deal with. So these are just the couple of heroes, or the 6 heroes that I think I've seen do really, really well, just in terms of carries. Captains-wise, Lyra and Arden seem really strong, Churnwalker really good. Anchor still is broken in a way. She's still really strong despite the nerfs. So yeah, I just wanted to put this video out just to talk about some of the initial thoughts that I had. This is not a complete list, and I'm going to be doing a complete list once I've had more time to play. I don't want to put out something like this super incorrect, but if you want some idea of what heroes to play in sort of those positions, if you're a jungler and a mid laner especially, those heroes are really good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let this game play out, and I'm going to let you guys enjoy the game, and I'll kind of just leave some music to play in the meantime. I'm not going to talk too much about what's happening in the game here. I just want to show you some Maligne gameplay from my game. It's sort of VG bronze, low VG silver level. I was playing against a CP Sky in the mid lane. We had a Celeste jungle, and in general, actually, it was a really, really good game. And I just kind of really think that Maligne is a really strong hero right now. And I think if you're a Maligne player, this is a really good update for you. I'm probably going to be playing a lot of Maligne this update, especially with the build that I played. It was really strong. Alright guys, I'll see you soon.
you.